Yageshwaram Ramakrishnam Saradam Matrarupinim Vivekanandamacharyam Natva Vakshami Shuddhe Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Bhaishajena Yopakarottam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi. In our last class we discussed two types of yogas. Yoga is restraining of the mental modifications, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And in the initial sutras, Vyasa Maharshi had pointed out that there are two types of yogas. And Patanjali now, in these sutras, enlists those two types of yogas. Vitarka Vichara Ananda Asmitanugamat Samprajnataha and Virama Pratyabhyasa Purvaha Samskara Sheshaha Anya. So Anya means Asamprajnata Yoga. So these are the two types of yoga, so to say, two divisions. One is Samprajnata Yoga and the other is Asamprajnata Yoga. Samprajnata Yoga is where all the Chitta Vrittis, mental modifications, are restrained except the one that pertains to the object of meditation. So the definition of Nirodha, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, it fits in here. In this Samprajnata Yoga also, there is Nirodha, restraint of Chitta Vrittis, except one, which is pertaining to the object of meditation. That is called Samprajnata Yoga. So in Samprajnata Yoga, all the Chitta Vrittis will be restrained, except the one that pertains to the object of meditation. There is an object of meditation, there is a Chitta Vritti in this Samprajnata Yoga, but only pertaining to one object of meditation. And depending on the category of this object of meditation, four varieties or four stages of Samprajnata Yoga have been enlisted in this sutra. We are not going to go into the details of this. Just know that there are four types, four varieties, four gradations, so to say. When the object of meditation is gross, it is called Vitarkanugama Samprajnata Yoga. When it is subtle, it is Vichara. When it is only the bliss, that becomes the object of meditation. It becomes Ananda. And when the Asmita or the sense of I is the object of meditation, it becomes Asmita Anugama Samprajnata Yoga. The point to remember is, in all these four, there is an object of meditation, an object of concentration, an object for samadhi. It is there. The Anya that is described in the next sutra is Asamprajnata Yoga, and it is Virama Pratyayabhyasa Purvaha Samskara Sheshaha Asamprajnataha. This, in Asamprajnata Yoga state, there is complete restraint of all the vrittis. That's why it is called, Purva means preceded by Abhyasa, practice of Virama Pratyaya. Virama Pratyaya is restraint of all the vrittis. So there is no vritti at all. And as such, there is no knowledge in the sense we understand knowledge. Our understanding of knowledge is only that which we receive through Chitta Vrittis. So that kind of knowledge is not there. So this Samprajnata Yoga is achieved by this continuous practice of making the mind free of all Chitta Vrittis. So that is how this Asamprajnata Yoga is achieved, and Samskara Shesha is there. There are only subliminal impressions. Samskaras alone remain, but no vrittis. That is Asamprajnata Yoga. Samprajnata Yoga gives us knowledge of the object of meditation. The object of meditation, whichever it is, it reveals its secrets to us in Samprajnata Yoga. And only when the mind has achieved that proficiency, that stage of Samprajnata Yoga, does it become fit to undertake the practice of Virama Pratyaya. That's why this practice of making the mind blank, so to say, making the mind free of all vrittis, should not be undertaken by all and sundry. It has to be undertaken by a person who has achieved the state of Samprajñata Yoga, and secondly, Vairagya. That Paravairagya that we talked of earlier, that Paravairagya becomes the cause of this Asamprajñata Yoga. So Vairagya and the practice of or establishment in Samprajñata Yoga, these two are prerequisites for this Asamprajñata Yoga. Any ordinary person without these prerequisites trying to practice this, trying to make the mind blank, or subside all the vrittis and all that, will lead to undesirable results. So these are the two types of yogas that we discussed in our last class. After that, Patanjali takes up another subject. He takes up two types of persons who achieve to this Asamprajñata Yoga. We discussed first type, that was Bhava Pratyayo Videha Prakriti Layanam and Upaya Pratyayo Yoginam. So two types of persons who achieve to this Asamprajñata Yoga. One are these Videhas and Prakriti Layas. These are states of manifested beings. Like we are embodied, we have body and mind and Sukshma Sharira and all that. But then there are other beings who are Videhas. They are without bodies, only Asmita is there, only sense of ego is there. Or then there are others who are Prakriti Leenas, who have merged in Prakriti. Prakriti is the basic material of this universe. So that is one category of people who have this Asamprajñata Yoga. And the other category are the yogis who achieve Kaivalya or Asamprajñata Yoga in this human body itself. So these are the two categories of yogis, of persons who have attained to this Asamprajñata Yoga. These Videhas and Prakriti Layas are yoga bhrashtas, or people or sadhakas who could not achieve Kaivalya or liberation while in human form. While in human form they could not achieve to this state of Kaivalya. So after the fall of this body, they remanifest as Videhas or Prakriti Layas. In their case, the Asamprajñata Yoga state is on account of their superior birth. Bhava Pratyaya. Bhava means birth. Pratyaya means Karana, reason. So for Videhas and Prakriti Layas, the Asamprajñata Yoga is caused due to their superior birth. So that is one category of persons who achieve this Asamprajñata Yoga. But the other category is what is important, because we want to belong to that category of the yogis. And Vyasa Maharshi says, Upaya Pratyayo Yogina. We are the sadhakas, we want to become established in yoga, we want to become yogis. So for us, the reason for achieving this Asamprajñata Yoga would be the upaya, the means, proper means we have to undertake to achieve to this Asamprajñata Yoga. So the next sutra lists those upayas. Those upayas, they start with Shraddha. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna Purvaka, Itaresham. When it says Itaresham, it means Yoginam, of the yogis. Earlier it was Videha Prakriti Layanam. Here it is Itaresham. Itaresham means Yoginam. There it was Bhava Pratyaya. Bhava Pratyaya caused due to superior birth. Here it is Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna Purvaka, Itaresha. So for yogis, this Asamprajñata Yoga is the result of this series of stages or qualities or exercises. As a result of these, the yogis attain to asampragnata yoga. This becomes very important for us because this gives, so to say, a roadmap for all of us. For all the spiritual seekers, this particular sutra gives a roadmap towards attaining to Kaivalya or liberation. It starts with Shraddha. It's a very oft quoted or used word which is used very often, Shraddha. We translate it as faith. But all these words, Shraddha and Virya, this cannot be easily translated into English. So Shraddha is faith, yes. But Shraddha, Vyasa Maharshi, he says Shraddha Chittasya Samprasadaha. That is tranquility or clarity of mind. Very apt, unusual definition of Shraddha. Shraddha is clarity of mind. As we understand, Shraddha is faith, yes, definitely it is faith. But faith endowed with many other qualities. First is, what is the domain of this Shraddha? Now, we have faith in our worldly life on many people for various reasons. That is not the Shraddha that is talked of here. That is not the scope. Here Shraddha is in Aptavakya. Aptavakya is the words of the seers and our gurus. That becomes the source on where we keep our Shraddha. Then the object, Vishaya of the Shraddha are spiritual entities. Spiritual entities are the object of the Shraddha. God eats. This world is God, or God alone eats. Or according to yogis, I am the Purusha, Chinmatra, free from any contact with Prakriti. That kind of spiritual entities, these become the object of Shraddha. Now, we also hear these things and we understand, we accept at times, sometimes to satisfy our intellectual curiosity and all that. But does it give us clarity? Does it give us certitude? That is the test. Shraddha should give us some prasad, clarity, certitude, tranquility. If we are sure, certain that yes, this is the truth, then it is Shraddha. That is the test of Shraddha. There are two tests actually. One is certitude, the other is commitment. The certitude gives us tranquility, clarity. Then we no more search for truth anywhere else. Once we have faith that this is the truth, and it comes from within, that certitude, that definitiveness, then our searching, so to say, intellectual searching stops. It is like Sri Ramakrishna says that bee keeps hovering from one flower to the other, making a lot of noise, buzzing. Finally it rests on a flower and then the buzzing stops. It starts sucking the honey. So also, we read so many things, we are in search of truth, so to say. But a point does come where finally we come home, so to say. Finally we know, yes, this is the truth. And then that intellectual fluctuations stop. That is Shraddha. It gives certitude, it gives tranquility, it gives clarity. That this is the truth. And second criteria of Shraddha is commitment. It makes us commit our life to pursuit of the truth. That's also another criteria of Shraddha, whether what we have is Shraddha or not. Simply having certitude in certain spiritual entities, but not letting our life changed by it is no Shraddha at all. Shraddha should make us commit to the pursuit of realizing those spiritual entities. Swamiji says, if God exists, then I must realize it. If I am the self, then I must experience my selfhood. I must commit myself to pursuing that particular truth that I believe in. Then only the Shraddha is genuine. It is definitely not an intellectual understanding. It comes from within, where we are sure that this is the truth, that certitude is there. And it makes us commit our life to pursuing the path that leads to realization. So these are the two, so to say, criteria of Shraddha, of what we have, whether it is Shraddha or not. The Shraddha is, so to say, the right reason to undertake spiritual life. We should ask this question sometimes to ourselves as to why am I undertaking this spiritual life? What is it that is making me undertake spiritual life? Why do I want spiritual life? Why do I want to lead a spiritual life? There could be many reasons. But one of the safest right reasons is Shraddha. We take to spiritual life because we believe that this is the truth and we want to realize the truth. We are committed to realizing this truth and hence we undertake spiritual life. So Shraddha becomes the right reason to undertake spiritual life. There could be wrong reasons to undertake spiritual life. Wrong in the sense, not exactly wrong, but not right reasons to undertake spiritual life. But the right reason to undertake spiritual life is this faith. That's why this comes first in this list of upayas that Patanjali has listed. Shraddha, that faith which gives certitude, commitment. It gives direction and inspiration to lead spiritual life. It draws us out, so to say, in undertaking spiritual life. That is genuine faith. So this is the first of the upayas, that is Shraddha. There is another test of the Shraddha. As I said just now, it should inspire us to undertake spiritual life, and that comes the second upaya, Shraddha Virya. So when Vyasa Maharshi is describing Shraddha, he beautifully says, Shraddha chittasya samprasadaha janani vasa kalyani yoginam pati. The Shraddha is Kalyani. Ever she wants our Kalyana. She is always there for our good. Like a mother, Janani Iva. Sa yoginam pati. She protects the yogis. The Shraddha protects us like mother. Just as mother protects the children, so the Shraddha protects a yogi. So this is Shraddha, the very basic foundation and the reason for us to undertake spiritual life. And this Shraddha inspires us into undertaking spiritual life, spiritual practices. And that is where the next upaya comes, which is Virya. Virya is generally translated as energy. But as I said, no English translation is complete. You'll have to say it is energy coupled with fortitude and stamina. All are there. All the three are there. There is energy. But then when obstacles come, we need fortitude to face those obstacles. And we need stamina because it's a long journey. So till we reach our goal, we have to practice. So all the three, the energy, the fortitude, the stamina, all together, they make up this quality called Virya. And this must come if we have genuine Shraddha. When Shraddha is there, Virya automatically comes. Shraddha dhanasya Viryam upajayate. One who has Shraddha, Virya automatically comes. But it can also be cultivated. It has to be cultivated. When our mind is disinclined to undertake spiritual practices. The energy which helps us undertake spiritual practices, when our mind is disinclined to undertake spiritual practices, that is virya, that is energy, spiritual energy, so to say. The mind doesn't want to undertake spiritual practice, but we make it undertake spiritual practices. That is virya, that is energy. And just like strength of the muscles, the strength of energy increases by practicing it, by exercising it. The more we exercise it, more it increases. This virya increases by exercising it. So that is the second upaya. First is Shraddha, the second is virya. And the third and most important is Smriti, translated in English as memory. Smriti is very important because its scope is very wide. See, we meditate or do our this whatever Guru has told according to that spiritual sadhana, morning, evening, chanting, bhajan, whatever meditation, morning, evening, twice we do. Out of 24 hours, how much time we spend in meditation and contemplation? And how much time is left? Apart from sleeping, in sleep we don't have control over our mind. Apart from sleeping, so much time is left. Time we eat, time we take bath, time we work. All that time, that is where this smriti is to be developed. The scope of smriti is this area of our day-to-day activities when we are not engaged in meditation, contemplation and japa and all that. This, it constitutes maximum hours of our day-to-day life. That is the scope of this smriti. One of the commentators, he introduces the term smriti sadhana, practice of memory. This is important because this takes long years and it prepares the mind, so to say. We'll see how it prepares the mind. When we are working, when we are doing our daily course of work, what is our mind doing? First, we have to develop that watchfulness. What kind of thoughts are coming to our mind when we are not meditating, when we are not sitting on the seat of meditation and doing japa, or when we are working? What kind of thoughts come to our mind? What kind of drives come to our mind? Emotions come to our mind. How do we react to different situations? Watchfulness is important. We have to develop that watchfulness as to what is happening in our mind during the time when we are not meditating. That is the scope of smriti. Watchfulness, then we see so many unwanted thoughts, so many unhealthy emotions and reactions. Then we have to replace them with healthy thoughts and healthy emotions. There is one Sanskrit verse which is Tasmat kenapi upayana manah krishne niveshayet. By some way or the other, we have to remember our spiritual goal, the spiritual truths, our commitment to spiritual life, and how we can use the given moment to progress, to advance in spiritual life. That is the scope of smriti. That's why this scope of smriti is very wide. At every moment, this smriti sadhana is possible. Every moment, how it can be put to the best use in spiritual, in terms of advancing in spiritual life. Smriti sadhana is about that. Remembering to put every moment to good use by thinking of God, by repeating God's name in whichever form we want. That is Smriti Sadhana. That is the third of the upayas. We'll see later. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.